Hello and welcome back to Darshan Dev. I'm Darshan and this is the third video of our HMS series. That's our Hotel Management System app series. So let's see what we're going to do here. So in this video we're going to do the booking form and the booking functions. So these are our objectives. In this video we are going to make a form where the user provides the dates and category of the room, and the user remains unaware of the room number and any room from the category which is actually available is booked or it is not booked, depending on the availability logic that we used from the previous video. Okay, in the previous video we had made an availability logic to check if the room is available or not. We are going to use that logic in this video and check if the room is available. If it is, then we are going to book it. And also this is important that the user remains unaware of the room number, because it's quite easy to provide the room number and book the room, but we don't want the user to be knowing which room he is booking. He just has to know the category and the room is booked for him. Okay, so let's move on to our code and do something. Just open VS Code or your code editor. Here I have my server running, and here we had made a few bookings in from this admin site. So instead of the admin site, right now we are going to go to our home page, which still has this Django logo and everything, because we have not yet made any views or anything like that. So let's go to our views.py and start doing things. Okay, open your views.py. I'll close this availability.py, open the views.py. Oh, why is it taking so long? Yeah, now we are in our views.py. The first thing that we're going to do is to make a list view for our bookings and for our rooms. So I'm going to import list view from our generic views from Django .views.generic, import list view, and I'm going to make a list view of two of our modules, which are booking and rooms. From .models, import room comma booking, and then we'll have a class of room list. Actually this is of no use but for now we want to see those rooms and bookings without going into our admin site, so that's the temporary use of these views. So later on we may make changes into them and do some radical changes. Actually we'll just copy and paste these views so we can see our bookings and rooms. Okay, booking list and room list, we save those. We go to our, we don't have a urls.py over here. Let's make it for our app. Let's make our urls.py from Django.urls, import path, and here we have to declare our app name. So I'm going to say app name is hotel, and then we can link this urls.py to our root URL configuration. For now we are going to do the URL patterns list. So URL patterns, we are going to make two paths right now, one for each of our views, room list and booking list. So I'm going to import both of these views over here. So from .views, import room list, and then I'm going to import booking list. and here I'm going to do room list slash, this will be room list as view. Remember the as view as view method call that we do over here, because this is a class based view. That's what we got to do. Then we give a name, and I usually give the same name, room list, and we're going to copy and paste it. Actually it's quite similar. Instead of room list we need booking list, and this will be booking list dot view. You can use multiple cursors here. I save it, and after saving we have to link this to our root urls.py. We go to our root urls.py and we give a path that is okay. Here we also need to import, include. So from django.urls path comma include, do that, and after you have done that, the first argument here would be hotel dot it would be, the first argument will definitely be empty because we don't want any kind of words over there. Then the second argument is going to be hotel dot urls, and we are going to pass this into include. And then we're going to save it. It says hotel is not defined. Let's wait a second. Yes, just one thing, we have to pass in hotel.urls in quotes. Let's save it, and our server has restarted. We have our app name hotel here and room list and booking list over here. We have also configured our room list and booking list in the views.py. Everything seems good to go. Let's go here and refresh. Actually not refresh, we have to go to room list. Go to room list and you should get, oh, we haven't made our templates. Let's make our templates. They should be at templates hotel room list. Templates hotel room list. Okay. So we make a templates directory here, and in there we make a hotel directory, and in that we make a room underscore list dot html. That's the default name that you ought to give there, and some default HTML. So here I'm going to just give the title of room list, and here everything will be done automatically. I'll save it. So it has detected the template, but we don't see anything because we have to pass in a bit of logic. So whenever we use these kind of views, we get our list in the form of the model name underscore list. So if I do room list here, room underscore list, then I should get room list. Like if I save it and then refresh it, I get the room list here. And in a similar way I'm going to make our booking list. So I copy it, and in templates in hotel directory I make a booking list .html, and then instead of room list I say booking list, and over here I give the heading of booking list, not object, booking. I save it, and now if we go to our booking list, we should get a list of all our bookings, and this is what we get. So DKD has booked this from this, so we get 3 bookings. One is from here to here, another one is from here to here, and the third one is from here to here. So that's our query set, and we can just make a for loop and go through all of those and do all that kind of stuff. But the first thing, the important thing is that we can now see our bookings. Okay, but let's make it a bit better. I think it's really better if we just add a bit of logic. So I'm going to say, oh, this calculator, let it be. So I'm going to say for booking in booking list, I'm going to give a h2 tag and display the booking, and then I'm going to end for. I'm going to save it and refresh it over here. So this is how we get it, and I think it's quite beautiful. So let's do the same thing for our rooms. Copy the logic, copy it carefully, paste it over here, and replace the booking for room. For room, in room list, I'm gonna display an h2 for room, and I'm gonna save it. So when we go to our room list, we should see a similar setup. Let's go to our room list. Oh, we gotta get faster. We also need to make our form. Okay, this is how we get our 5 rooms, and let's go to our form. Okay, so we are going to make a URL that will be called /book, where we'll book our rooms, and that will also show us a form. So to make that form, we simply make a form.html. Form.html will come later. First of all, let's make a forms.py and make our form. Inside forms.py, we are going to import forms from Django. So we do from Django import forms, and then we are going to make a booking form. Or instead of booking form, I'll say availability form, because we are going to check based on this data if the room is available or not, and if it's not available, we'll redirect the person to some other page and tell him that check for another category or something, instead of booking it directly. So if a user comes to our page or unregistered user who has not logged in, we'll handle that later. But for now, if a user is logged in but the room is not available, we'll redirect him somewhere else, and if the room is available, we'll book it, and we'll straight away book it. We'll not take payments for now. That will be in another section. So I'll make a availability form class that will inherit from forms.form. We cannot use model forms here because availability is not a model. Okay, so forms.form, and for availability form we need a room category and a check-in and check-out. So I'm going to define room category equals models, not models, forms.chart field, instead of chart field we are going to use choice field. So let's use that, and I'm going to pass in choices at room categories. Room categories. I should not hurry, but yeah, we don't have much time. Let's go to our models, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Let's copy this room categories. We're going to use the same in our forms. I'll copy it, paste it in our forms, and since I've passed in choices as room categories, we will use this tuple as our choices, and then I'll pass in required is true. Required is true, and the next thing that we have to do is check in and check out. So let's do that. Check in is going to be a date time field, and checkout's going to be the same. Forms dot date time field, this has required is true, and I'm also going to pass in an input format. You can use any input format which you like. From the documentation you can go to the datetime modules documentation or the official Django documentation and search for the input formats that you require, and you'll need quite a bit of time for this because sometimes, like I messed it up, you can mess too. So this is the format I use, that is year, month, date, and then there is a T in there, and then we have hour and minutes. That's the way it is, and we're going to copy it and paste it for our checkout. So checkout's the same, it also has required is true and the same input format. I'm going to save it and use it in my view. So this is our availability form. So this is going to be our booking view. So I'll define it as, I'm going to define it as a form view. I'll import form view from generic views, and then I'll define booking view. It will inherit form view. So here we ought to provide our form class, and our form class is going to be availability form. Let's import that first. From dot forms import availability form, and our class is going to be the same, availability form. So now I'm going to define a template name. My template name is going to be availability form.html, and I'm also going to define our, I'm actually going to redefine our form valid function. So this is the function which is run after Django has checked if the form is valid. So actually we pass in the self and form into it, and then we do all the logic over here. So we have, I'm going to take the data from our form.clean data, and then I'm going to extract different things from the data, like check-in, check-out, and what do we have, category. Yeah, so category, check-in and check-out. And also we are going to use our booking function availability.py over here. So I'm going to import this check availability function into our views.py, and that I do by this import statement from booking functions, that's the name of our module, import availability. So from booking functions import availability. No, I don't want to import availability. From booking functions dot availability, I'll import the check availability, what do we call that, function. So now we have access to our check availability function in our view. So what I do over here is extract our data, that is check-in, check-out and category, and check our availability. Okay, and first of all we need to make a room list according to the category. So room list is going to be room.objects.filter, room.objects.filter. I think we have let's go to a model and check it. I think we don't have room category. Yeah, we have just category. So category should be equal to room category from the form, because in the form we have defined room category. So category equals data, that's from the form data. I'm going to extract room category, and this gives us the list or the query set of room objects, rooms that have the same category as the category that we passed in. So we just have the rooms that we need in this room list. Like if we search for AC rooms, we will just get AC rooms. That's the point here. So after that, we are gonna run the check availability function on each and every room in this list. So I'm going to do for room in room list, because if the room is available, the check availability, our availability function returns true. Okay, so I'm going to do if check availability, that is if this returns true. Okay, so if check availability, what does it take in? I think it takes in a room, check in and check out. So let's pass that in. I'll pass in room check in. Check in is gonna be from the data, so I'm going to take it from the data. Check in. So whenever I use this data, this data, you should remember that this is the form's clean data. So I use the square bracket syntax to extract check-in from the dictionary, that is data check-in, and we pass it in the check availability function, and we do the same with checkout. After we have done that, we'll see, just a second. So if this returns true for the rooms, we'll add it in the available rooms list. So I'm going to make a available list, that is, yeah, that will be the right thing. So we'll make a available rooms list, available rooms empty list. Let's check the spelling. Yeah, it's right. So if this is true, then I'm going to add it in the available rooms list, available rooms dot append, and I'm going to put room in here, and there should be no else, we don't need it, and this will return the available rooms. But we can return available rooms, but I think just to check our logic and see how it all goes, let's just write some crude code. Okay, so we are not going to modularize the code and do everything right now. We are just going to check the availability and book the room right away. So here we are going to do, here we're going to take our room equals available rooms 0, that's the first room that's available. I'm going to take that room and then create a booking in the name of the user. So booking is equal to booking.objects.create, and I'm going to pass in everything that the booking needs. So the user is going to be request.user, user equals request.user, and definitely we will handle this differently if the user is not logged in later on, but right now users request.user. Let's go to our models and check what the booking needs. User, room, and check in and check out, that's it. So since I'm going to create this booking over here, I'll have to pass it in the same manner, user, room, check in and check out. So room is going to be room, so the room that we have got here from the available rooms list. Here we are getting the room. Okay, so we are getting the first room that is available and we are going to book it. So user, room, our check-in is going to be the same as data.checkin. I'm going to pass this thing in here, and then I'm going to pass this in the checkout. So checkout is going to be the thing that I copied, that's data checkout, and then I'll save it. And after saving it, oh, not just save it, I have to do the dot save. So I do booking dot save. So this is if our available so if we have any room available. Okay, and if we don't have any room available, we are going to redirect the user to something else, or we are just going to send a HTTP response. I think it's better to send a HTTP response for now. We just want to check our code. I'll save it here, and then if I'll pass a if statement here. If our available rooms is greater than 0, so this is the way it goes. If length available rooms is greater than 0, that is if we have any rooms available, we are going to run this logic. Else we are not going to run this logic, and we are going to send an HTTP response that choose another category, this room is not available. I save it, and then I'm gonna do an else over here. Actually you don't need to do an else, but still let's do it. If you return something here, okay, we will return an HTTP response of the booking object. This should be lowercase b, and here in the else we are going to return HTTP response. That's what I like about this thing. Simply we can just so easily check our code. I'm going to send something like this category of rooms are booked. I'll say all of this category of rooms are booked. Try another one. So let's save it, and let's link this booking view with our URL that will be book. So I'm going to do book slash, and here we also have to import it, so that's going to be booking view, and I'm going to say booking view as view, the same setup that we do always, booking view dot as view, and then I'm going to give it a name of booking view. Let's save it. It says an indent does not matter the indent match the indentation level. Views.py line 40. Let's go over there and over here. So this is the case. We save it, and now it should do well. No module name booking functions availability. Okay, just let's check it. No module name booking functions, but we have a name booking functions. Okay, wait, I think we should check it in the settings.py. Oh yeah, that's the problem. We need to pass in the hotel.booking functions, not booking functions. Oh god, there's some issue here. Yeah, hotel.booking functions.availability, check availability. We save it, and now it should run well. Now let's go over here. Let's go to book. Availability form is not there. Yeah, when we set it, we have to directly place it under templates, not in the hotel. But we haven't made it. Let's make it. Availability I hope I've got the spelling right, because once I had gotten wrong and it had caused a huge bug. Availability form.html. So let's make a bit of basic HTML over here. I'll say the heading is book a room, and then I'll just display a form. It would be as simple as this, form dot as p. I'll save it, and let's go over here, refresh it. Now it works. Oh, but we don't have the form tags and everything. Let's add those form. We have to add the form tags and CSRF token and other things, submit button as well. Let's add the button.submit. I'll say it says book room, and over here I'll add method post. That's when you don't want your form data to go into the what's this path variable. So whenever you have this as get, then it will go into the path variable, and that should not happen. So we just do post, and whenever you are posting data, it's just a good practice to use post. It's just made for that purpose. So you put CSRF token here and save it. Now we refresh it, and now we are good to go. Now we have got the choice field over here, and I choose non-AC. Let's hey, but here we ought to get something like date and time field. I mean the date time selector. That would be better. We have to make some changes over here. So our problem was here in the availability form.html. So if we want a date time selector from HTML, we cannot do this form.asp and render it directly. We have to go deep into the form and render each input by ourselves. So instead of doing that right now, I feel like I'll just pass in a date and time according to the format that I've specified over here. So according to your format, or if you're following the tutorial exactly, you should use the format that you have specified. Like I've specified means I've given the year, month, date, t, hours and minutes. That way I'm going to put the data in here. So AC, and then I'm going to do 2021, suppose dash 02-01. T is for time, and this is gonna be 22. Let's go for 2021-02-02. That's the next day, and this is gonna be T 23-23. I mean 23:23. So I press book room, and there I get some error. I tried this before, and this is because of the views.py, user is request.user. But since this is our class based view, we cannot do request.user. We have to do self.request.user. So you go over here, and instead of request.user, you do self.request.user and you save it, and now it should work fine. We go here and resubmit the form. That's press F5 and enter, and now it says DKD has booked this room from this time to this time. And let's do that once more. We are going to book a room in 2024, the month of March, 21, 23, 24. So 2024, March 22. When you get the date time selector, it's really easier to do that. Okay, so let's book one more room, and yes, I've booked this room. So now we see which how to book rooms and everything, like, and when I try to book this room once more, it should not allow me. Like, I think we just have one of each type. So when we go to room list, yes, we have just one of each type. So we just have room number 101 with AC. So when I put the same date and time, it should not book the room and just tell me that the rooms are booked. Okay, so let's do that once more and check if it books the rooms. I think we had done it in 2024 March 21. Let's do it from 2024 to 2025. How does it know? I'll book it from 2024 0101 T 0000, and I'll copy this, a better way of doing it, and this should be 2025. And since I have one booking between 2024 and 2025, it should not allow me to book, you get it, and it should give me a error message, which I expect now. Let's book the room. All of these category of rooms are booked, try another one. So that's how we make the logic of room booking. We implement it, we implement the form, but seriously, we are going to refactor the code 100 times, and this is going to look much better. I mean, not only in the matter of looks and everything, our code is also going to look real beautiful. And we are also going to split our availability code into a few parts, and then we're going to get a date time selector over here, so that you don't always have to type it, like type something, it's going to get hectic, right? I mean, that's just violating your basic user experience really bad, right? So we are going to work on that later. So let's see. Yeah, everything looks good. So let's summarize what we learned in this video. We learned how to handle our our forms using this form view, generic form view, how to do the logic of how to implement the logic that we had done here before in the booking functions and availability.py. We implemented this logic today, and also we learned how to use the form and use these inputs. So we have done a great deal today. That's it for this video. Hope you learned something new, hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned. Bye bye.